Hello, this is Jacob. Today, I'm going to do a video to cover some of the questions that I have in the comments. Um, which is to make the TextGen WebUI working for Kaggle. That being said, let's get started. Here, as usual, we go to kaggle.com and create a notebook. This one we call Text Generation WebUI. For the original project, you can just search for Google. It's basically TextGen WebUI, and that's basically the project. Let's go back to the Kaggle notebook. So all you have to do is to basically first do a clone, and then do a cd into that project. Um, so we do need to change a few files because Kaggle is different than Colab. They do have a Colab version. So if you see that, actually they have a Colab version, but Kaggle is a bit different just because Kaggle has a conda installed already, so you don't have to install mini conda. If you look at the start Linux .sh file from the original repo, they do have a lot of conda related stuff. You don't need any of that because in the kaggle.com and for this specific notebook, we don't need any of the virtual environment, so you don't really need a specific different conda to actually make it working on Kaggle. Just use the default conda environment, it should be fine. So that being said, so we just need to uh, remove all that conda stuff and then just put a one line here. Just do a one-click .py and also take all the parameters um, once you passed in. So now just update this start Linux file, uh, the bash file. Yeah, that's it. So the other file that we want to update is one click. So this is where it's got called the start Linux. Um, so in this file, and we have to make a couple of changes to make sure that it's not reading from the Minikana environment. It's actually going to read from the Kaggle Conda environment. So let's check that out. This is basically a couple lines that you have to make the change. So if you go to it's one click that Python file. So first we have to change the conda environment path to be the opt conda. That's where the Kaggle conda lives. And the other thing we have to change is basically remove this line, a couple of lines in here. So just make sure that when the checks environment, it doesn't actually exit. The other thing we have to make changes, if you see here, basically the original repo, the original code is try to use the conda shell, conda sh file, bash file to run the command. Also, they basically have to activate the conda environment. So in the kaggle.com, we don't have to do that. In the notebook, basically we just run the command. We don't have to enable any specific conda environment. And the last thing we have to change is make sure that we do uh, do a install WebUI, just force install, because the install check in the one-click file somehow it's basically it will be installed. So if you don't add a force install as an environment variable, it would basically will not install all the dependencies. So you have to make the change that it's gonna install um, on the first time. After that, um, when we spin up the server, then you don't have to install again. So I'll show you in a bit, and that's the few things that we have to update in the one-click file. All we have to do and is to um, make a few other changes. So this after we basically update all these changes that we saw in the one-click file, then we have to override it. So after that, um, we have to basically run start Linux -sh. So this will actually install all the dependencies. And after, so also we have to specify GPU choice equals A, which means automated, and then it will install treat the GPU as a NVIDIA GPU. So instead of the AMD and other GPUs, basically we'll use the NVIDIA. And we also have to set CUDA 118 to false because it's actually using CUDA 121. So we have to set to false. And then we make sure that this first install Linux shell run is going to be install the dependencies. So as we mentioned earlier, so we have to set the environment variable force install to be true. And after we run this command, it will install all the dependencies as needed. And lastly, we have to install Ngrok. So this is very important because Kaggle doesn't really support Gradio very well. So then you will basically have that tunneling errors that you have to deal with. So Kaggle does work with Ngrok. So instead of using the default uh, Gradio temporary public URL, you have to use Ngrok instead. So we have to install Ngrok, and after that, uh, we also have to just write a couple of functions to run the Python commands as we did almost every time in the other videos. So then other thing we have to do is after we install Ngrok, we have to also make sure that we get the Ngrok token. You can get that in your Ngrok console. Uh, Once you have that, just paste that in, and you basically will set up the Ngrok configuration environment with the token. So after you run that, we'll say Ngrok token has been set. And the other thing we have to set up Ngrok is to spin up the Ngrok instance so that it can actually get you the public URL. In this case, it'll be you see this Ngrok -free app. So every time you run this, it'll be different subdomain. So you see actually it's going to be routed to your local basically notebook instance port, which is where the Gradio, or not the Gradio, but the local host is. The local Gradio, I think. And then what we have to do next is to um, set up the Gradio script and basically make sure that we still set up the GPU choice equals to automated, set to CUDA 118 to false. And then this is all the default I copied from the official repos Colab script. So, and there you have it. After you spin everything up, then you'll have a instance ready on your local notebook. Then Kaggle is going to read from that instance. So let's try that. So now you'll have this link, and after you run this notebook block, it will actually stop the instance, so then Ngrok can read from. Let's just quickly check that. So see that it's gonna actually spin up the server. Let's just wait a little bit. So it's gonna spin up the instance. So this actually can change the model, but right now we're just using the model that the TextGen WebUI project already uses in their Colab. So now, yes, this instance has been already spin up at 7860. So now we check back on the Ngrok link. So basically we'll say you're about to visit that and just visit the site. So now there you have it. So yeah, and then just say hello. You can see the AI is actually typing. Right. How are you today? Do you have any books to recommend? So yeah, there you have it. So hopefully that helps. And if you like this video, please support the channel by subscribing it or like it. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.